All right, so I finally got the rest of the supplies I need. I got that PoE injector in yesterday and got that hooked up. So now I'm out here working on this bridge. So I'm gonna show you what we're doing here. So this is the bridge right here. It's gonna beam from here straight over there to that shed. The reason I need internet out there is, number one, I just kind of want it out there at the shed, but also I've got a sprinkler timer, and it has internet capabilities. It's got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all that stuff. And currently, if you see this bucket that I have right here in the yard back there in the woods, the controller was too far away from the house, and it was too far away from the Bluetooth, from the little bridge for it, Wi-Fi bridge. So I had to put a bucket out there to protect it because it's supposed to be inside, and run an extension cord all the way back here to the house to get it power. So by putting this bridge out there, it'll get the irrigation timer, internet and Wi-Fi capabilities and all that stuff, so I can manage that without having to have this extension cord and bucket out in the yard. Plus, you know, it'll just give me access out there for whatever else I need. So anyway, I'm gonna get this cable run. I think you've seen me do enough of that, so we don't need to video that. Get it hooked up, and then we'll go install the other side of this bridge. Anyway, I'm gonna get this cable run up into the attic, and we'll see you guys in just a little bit. Hey, so we're back up in the attic. I was hoping that the switch up here, the PoE switch, would have enough power to run the bridge, but it comes with its own power injector and all that stuff, and apparently it really needs that. What I'm having to do is bring a power outlet over here to the switch. So let me show you what we have. So I've already run a cable over. I put a new box here. I've got cable here. I just have to get it stripped and everything like that. And then I'm going to take this one. You can see this cable here isn't showing any power output, and I can tell also because the bridge outside isn't on. This is the input. This is for one of my access points, and then this one's for my bridge. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get an outlet put into this box, and then I'm going to do that while I have power on and everything, because I haven't connected the other end yet. So I'm going to terminate this, get an outlet put in there, and then over here I'm just going to tap into it over here where I've got a little bit more cable. So I'm going to put another junction box here. I've got the extra cable right here. I'll just cut this probably, you know, up around in here so I can have enough to get into the box. And then if I need to uncoil some of this, I left a little bit of a service loop there so that if anything like this ever happened, I'd have a little extra. So one thing to remember, so I was an automotive technician for a little while, so a couple years, and in the automotive world, black wires are ground and white wires or red wires are your power legs, because it's all DC stuff and all that. Well, here in home, residential, commercial, whatever, black is your hot. So if you're used to working on cars, please be careful with this. And then any one of your outlets or anything like that, if you look at the back, it's pretty simple. It'll tell you hot wire here and white wire here. You can also look at the screws. Gold or brass screws are your hot, and the silver is your neutral. This is just some wire I had left over. It's 14.3 with ground, so the red wire I don't need. That's for like a a three-way switch or something like that. All right, I got some tape, so I'm gonna go ahead and tape it up because it really should be anyway. Don't want to leave anything open that's, it's a fire hazard. Make sure everything's covered up. Okay, so we got that. I'm gonna go get this run to the other box, get that opened up, and get that started. So here's where my other box is going to be. This is really just a junction box that I didn't wind up using with other projects. So anyway, this is where this is where I'm going to splice in and get my power from. So I'm going to use these to connect it. They're made by Ideal. They're push connectors. Wago makes some that are lever action that are I think probably a little better, but these are what I have on hand. I know there's going to be a lot of uproar in the comments about these for some reason. A lot of guys over here in America don't like these. I'm from here, so I don't really have much to say about that, but they've been using connectors like this in Europe for decades without any problems. I've been using them for decades without any problems. It's a very open access, easy place to get to, so if I ever have any kind of issues, it's right here. The circuit protection systems are going to take care of anything if anything were to go wrong, but I've never had any problems with them. So anyway, these are real simple. Strip it back, snap it on or slide it on. So just push in just like that. You want to make sure you don't strip off too much cable because you don't want any hanging out the back. These hold 3 wires. They make them that hold 2, 3, 4. I don't know if they go above 4. I haven't bought any that have more than that. So anyway, just snap those on there. This is my live wire, so I'm gonna have to go turn the power off before I cut into that. All right, I got the power off. Got a work light out here. One thing you never want to do, never ever cut into a power circuit without verifying that shutting off the breaker shut off the power to your circuit that you are working on. Sometimes things get labeled wrong in boxes. A lot of times electricians they're not going to label every single outlet or plug or whatever that goes to it. It's going to be a general area. Make sure that you check it. Get yourself a circuit tester, wrap it all the way around it, make sure nothing on there has power. So we are good. There's no beeping, there's no red light, everything's staying green. We are good to go. We'll take enough of this to get behind the box and get into the box and back out of it. And I want to leave myself enough on the other side to get into that box. So I think we'll be good right here. So we'll just go ahead and cut that right there. That's plenty. Perfect. Now we'll unwrap this. We've got plenty of wire over here. Excellent. So we'll just kind of push that one up out of the way. We'll get these stripped and opened up and ready to go. Alright, so we've got everything connected. This is ready to go. I'm just going to throw these back in here. I do have a cover for this. I'm just not going to put it on just yet. I'll put it on when I get all finished up. Go back downstairs, turn the power on, make sure we've got power at the switch over there at the outlet, and we'll go from there. So I got everything hooked up here. We've got my power outlet. It is supplying power to my PoE injector for the bridge. I also have, you can see I now have the green light showing me I've got signal on that as well. So I'm going to go ahead. I just had to make a little jumper here to get the LAN into here and then power out. So anyway, that's that. I'm gonna get the bridge connected to the network and everything. Well, it's technically already connected because it's wired. So I'm just gonna set everything up in the app, make sure all that's working, and then we will be good to hook up the receiver portion of that bridge and get everything up and running. We're almost there. The way this thing works, it's got this little mounting plate. It's got some barbs here that'll dig into the wood that'll keep this from spinning, and then these little holes lock on these little lugs right here. So when you get it up there, you'll tighten it down, and then you push this collar up, and those pins will go through these holes, and it'll lock it in place. And so that way, whenever you get it set where you need it to be, it won't move, because you want to line it up with the transmitting side so that everything lines up good and you get a good signal. All right, and then this will loosen up. And like I said, this is just a ball mount. So you loosen that up a little bit and slide this ball up in there, tighten it down, and it won't move. So you just get it pointed where you want it. So we'll loosen it up a little bit, get this up. It'll probably have to be straight down like that to clear the roof. Snug it up a little bit. We'll kind of halfway aim it. And then once I get all the cabling connected and everything, then we'll get it aimed a little bit better. All right, so now I got to get into the shed with the cabling. Got where I think I need to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this hole right here, and then I'm going to angle my bit, and then hopefully be able to get all the way through to where I need to be. There we go. Okay, so that didn't actually get me through. Let me get my borescope and see what I can see up in there. Let's see what we can find. I'm just going to drill from the inside straight through, and hopefully with this borescope I should just be able to run the cable straight through those two holes. I drilled my hole inside. Let's see what we can find. Borescope. So I think I figured out what I ran into here. There's a cross member, like a just a spacer block there. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the technical term is for roofing, but you know, in between the rafters they got blocks, and I think I ran into that drilling this right here. What I'm hoping to find a brand new hole. Yes, right there, pretty much right inside. So that should be pretty easy to run my fish tape through, and that is what I wound up running into. I can tell right now because, yep, because I drilled right next to it, and my hole's right under it, or my other hole is right next to it. I'm gonna get this cable run through there. We'll get this thing hooked up and hopefully be done soon. Alright, so I'm getting this fish tape run through here. This is a great fish tape for this job because I have a really tight turn that I have to make right here. And this is an extra flexible fish tape from Klein. I bought it for another job that I had to do, and it's been a really great purchase. So if you do any kind of electrical work, I highly recommend one. I'm just threading a bunch of this in there because I got a bunch of stuff on the countertop and stuff, so I want to be able to get it out where I can get to it easily. So let's go take a look. All right, so here's where it's coming out. I actually drilled 2 holes because one of them was a little too far over. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. Those are pretty small holes in that rafter. So anyway, that's where I've got it coming through. I'm going to connect my power injector on that plug right there, most likely, because it's the one that's far enough out of the way. And then I'm thinking when I get my outdoor access point, I'm probably going to put it in that corner of the workshop. So I'm just going to run Ethernet probably, you know, straight over here into that, and probably go ahead and run it over in the corner and just coil it up for now until I get that access point. I actually have an old Asus router, the one that was in the house. I might set that up out here and see if I can get it running as an access point just until that other stuff gets here. But anyway, that's where we are right now. I'm gonna get this Ethernet pulled through here. Looks like I'm snagged. I'm probably gonna have to go in here and get it started through. Oh, wait, maybe that's got it. There we go. Perfect. Hey y'all, so it's been a few days. Had to go to work, and then we were at the lake yesterday, so I finally was able to get this bridge finished up and hooked up and aimed and working right. So let me show you where we are. So we've got the receiver node here on the shed, and don't mind the wood, I got a lot of repairs to do over here. So we got the receiver node there. I've got the sender way off over there on the corner of the house. And then it's going into the shed over here. So we've got the cable coming in right there. I've got it kind of running around the edge. There's the power injector for it, the PoE injector. I've got it running all the way around the edge there. And I've got my old router there. It's not really giving me the best signal right now because that's the one that I was replacing with all this Ubiquiti stuff. In just a couple days, I'm gonna be getting the new U7 outdoor access point, and I'm going to replace this router with that, and I'm going to put it on the outside. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys that update. It is working, even with the kind of crappy router that I've got going on right now. I've got, last time I checked it, it was about 170 meg out here, I think, 160 to 180, somewhere in there. And I was pushing 240 or 260 from the house. So I lost about 100 on the way out here, but I really think that's mostly due to the router, because that's part of the reason why I was, or most of the reason why I was doing the upgrade to begin with, is I was losing speed and I was losing distance. So, you know, there were times in the house where I was only getting about 5 meg. So I really think that the speed drop is mostly related to using that old router as my access point out here. So once I get that new access point out here, I'll give you guys some updated numbers. But anyway, I just wanted to give you all a quick update and show you that we got that finished up. Hope you guys have a good day.